Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our managerial economics class, particularly on the topics which I told you to supplement the reports made by the previous reporters, particularly on demand, supply, and market equilibrium, as well as various elasticities. We will be using the output of this particular topics which I'm going to present to you this afternoon as basis for the different problems which I'm going to give you so that you will be guided on answering correctly the particular problems which I about to provide to you. So first we will discuss about demand. No? So we all know that the demand is the schedule of various quantities of goods and services which actually buyers are willing and able to purchase at a given period, at a given price, at a given time and place. All other factors are held constant or ceteris paribus. The law of demand states that as the price increases, the quantity demanded also will decrease. Or let me rephrase that. The law of demand states that as the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases. And as the prices decreases, the quantity demanded increases, ceteris paribus. So there are various factors which actually affect the demand, which include the price of the product, the income of the buyers, the quality of the product, the season. We also have the price expectation, the number of consumers or the number of population, taste and preferences, promotion and advertisement, religion, of course, price of related products, fashion, fad, as well as customs and traditions. So, a demand schedule is usually being listed of the different quantities. It's the listing of different quantities of goods and services. Let's say, for example, a demand schedule for commodity X. So, we have here the demand schedule. Please bear with my penmanship. Okay? So, we have our PX and of course quantity demanded for X. So let's say for example 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And of course quantity demanded actually is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So what have you noticed? As price increases, quantity demanded decreases. So that is an illustration or demand schedule for an example of commodity X. So if we are going to make a graph, the graph is actually on a function of P and this is the quantity. It's actually going down. So this is the demand function. The demand function is the downward slope. Okay? And the demand function is expressed in the form Q dx is equal to the function of Px. Okay? So, it means that this is Q dx is the quantity demanded for commodity X and it's the function of price of commodity X. So, demand equation is being presented as Q dx, this is the demand equation, is equal to A plus B Px. Okay? Where A is the intercept, and B is the slope. Okay? So what's the interpretation? Let's say for example a demand equation, let's say Q dx is equal to 20 minus 0.4 P of X. So what is the interpretation of the slope of the intercept and the slope? So A is equal to 20. A A is equal to 20. That is the intercept. The intercept means that the price of commodity X is 0. The buyer will purchase 20 units of the commodity. And B, as the slope, 0.4, negative 0.4, that means that for every unit change, either increase or decrease in the price of X, the quantity demanded will change by 0.4 unit. The negative sign indicates a negative or an inverse relationship between the price of X and the quantity demanded. Okay? So let us assume. Let us try to solve. I will erase this. Sample. This is very basic, and I am introducing you the simplest way of presenting this topic, because in the cases later on, problems which I will provide to you, you might not clearly understand the problem if you don't know practically the formula behind it. Okay, so let's say we have to calculate the quantity demanded assuming the following prices. So, example, my ano is no longer working. P is equal to 40. So let us see. So based on the formula, Qx is equal to 20 minus 0.4 px. So that's equal to 20 minus 0.4 times 20. We have 20 minus 8. So 12. Okay? Then the rest we have 20 minus 0.4 times 30. We can have 20 minus 12. We have 8. Then we also have 20 minus 0.4, 40. We could have 20 minus 16. So we could have 4. So if we are going to graph that one, you have to plot the demand curve. We have price here and quantity demanded. Okay, that is when the price is 20, it increases to 30, increases to 40, 20 is 12, 30 is 8, and it is 4. So that is, if we are going to graph that one, it is actually going down. So this is our demand based on price and based on quantity. So see, if we look at the graph of a what we call this one, a demand function, it is a downward, it has a downward slope. Okay? So if we will try to make a movement along a given demand curve versus a change in demand, a movement along a given demand curve is the change in the quantity demanded due to the changes in the price of the product when all other factors are held constant. So let's say, based on this formula here, based on this graph here, we could have this is P2 and P1. Okay. So P1, P2. This is Q1, P2. When this is the price, P1, the quantity is, it is low, the quantity is higher. But when there's an increase in price, it becomes lesser. No? So, to graph that one, then we have here. Okay? So, we have seen there that A goes to B. So, that's it. and quantity Q1 to Q2. So that's the movement along the demand curve. In every change of price, it actually shifts to the left, or it shifts downward. Okay, there's a downward slope. Okay, that is for the one, for the what we call this one. That is for the demand function. On the other hand, we have the supply function. The supply function is opposite of the demand function. Okay. Under the demand function, it is an upward slope. It is a downward slope rather, but in a supply function, it is actually a downward, that's an upward slope. So demand function is downward slope, supply function is an upward slope. Okay, so still, if we look at the formula for the supply function, that is equal to Q Sx is equal to the function of P over X. Okay, so QSX is the quantity supplied, and we have our price of commodity X. So again, the formula, the supply equation, is that QSX is equal to, we have A plus BPX, where A, again, is the intercept, and B is the change of Q over the change of P. Okay, so let's say, for example, QSX is equal to negative 10 plus 0.6 px. So that means that negative 10, the intercept, means that if the price of commodity X is 0, the seller will sell negative 10 units of the commodity. A negative quantity is nothing. This only emphasizes that if there is no price, the seller will sell nothing. B, 0.6. The slope means that for every 1 unit change in the price of X, the quantity supplied will change by 0.6 unit. So the positive sign indicates a positive relationship between the price and the quantity supplied. So let us try to calculate, for example, assuming the following prices. P is equal to 20, P is equal to 30, and P is equal to 40. So substituting the formula here, negative 10 plus 0.6, so we have negative 10 plus 0.6 times 20, negative 10 plus 12, that is equal to, what's the answer? 2. Okay, positive 2. So quantity supplied is positive 2. When it is 30, that's negative 10 plus 0.6 times 30, negative 10 plus 18, you can have 8 quantity supplied. Then we have negative 10 plus 0.6 times 40, that is equal to negative 10 plus 24. So that's equal to, what's the answer? 14. Positive 14. So if we are going to make a graph, the graph is that in relation to P and Q, as the price, if you look at that price with supply, what happens is that it is an increasing graph. It's an upward. That is the supply. Okay? So if there are questions, you may post directly in our Facebook page. So with this, the movement along the supply function, no? The movement along a given supply curve is the change in the quantity demanded, or quantity supplied rather, due to the changes in the price of the product when all other factors are held constant. So looking at this graph here, we could say this is the price and we have our quantity. So P1 and this is P2. Okay, so we have Q1 and this is Q2. So what happened? There is an increasing graph. So this is B and A. This is the supply curve. So Q1 and Q2. Okay? So there is an upward movement of supply. So this is the movement along a given supply curve versus a change in supply. Right? So if there are questions, feel free to post in our group chat. Now, how about market equilibrium? When does it happen? It is the condition when quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. When quantity demanded equals quantity supplied, then there is an equilibrium. So with this particular illustration, it is said to be, okay, this one, when the demand, we have here our equilibrium quantity and we have here our equilibrium price here on this limit, on this point. Okay, so when there is no equilibrium, there is no balance between the demand and supply. So shortage is a condition when the quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied. This happens when the price gets lower than the equilibrium price. So when the price is lower than the equilibrium price, so this is the equilibrium price, the portion here, there is what we call as shortage. But when the price is above the equilibrium price, that is surplus. That is a situation in which when the quantity supplied is greater than the quantity demanded, then there is surplus. So it occurs when the price is above the equilibrium price. So let us try to apply the equilibrium price using mathematical formula. Market equilibrium in mathematical language. So let us try to assume the previous demand and supply equations. Diba? Last time, katong first nato nga problem, we have demand. The equation there was Q dx is equal to 20 minus 0.4 px. The other one is QSX is equal to negative 10 plus 0.6 px. Okay? So, let us try to find the equilibrium price and quantity. Take note that in the market equilibrium, demand is equal to supply. Okay? So, that's it. That's Q dx is equal to QSX. Okay? So, Q dx is equal to 20 minus 0.4 px equal to negative 10 plus 0.6 px. So, we could have transpose 20 plus 10. That's 20 plus 10. is equal to 0.6 px plus 0.4 px. Substitution to 30 transposition, that's equal to 1 px. So px is equal to 30 over 1. So px is equal to 30. So the equilibrium price is 30 pesos. That is the equilibrium price. So let us try to check. Let us substitute with the equation. Any equation will do. For example, let's on the demand function. So we have 20 minus 0.430. That's 20 minus 30 times 412. So 20 minus 12 is 8. This is the equilibrium quantity. Now, i-check po na nato sa PICAS. That's negative 10 plus 0.6 times 30. Negative 10 plus 0.6 is 18. So, equilibrium quantity is equal to 8. So, there is now 8 is the equilibrium quantity and 30 is our equilibrium price. Okay? Therefore, the equilibrium quantity is 8 units with equilibrium price of 30. That's all for the discussion on that particular note. Let us proceed to elasticity concept. First, we have to focus on demand elasticity. Now, take note that there are several factors which actually affect the consumers in deciding how many of a commodity will he buy. He'll buys, or will he buy, or will be bought. Any change, whether increase or decrease in these factors, will actually result to a reaction on the part of the consumer. An increase in the price, while the other factors are held constant, will actually lead to a decrease in the quantity to be purchased. That's demand, right? The price is high, quantity demanded goes down. An increase in income of the consumer, while all other factors are held constant, will mean more quantity to be demanded for normal commodity. The degree of the consumer's responsiveness or reaction to changes in the factors affecting demand is known as demand elasticity. So first, on demand elasticity, we are now on the topic. Let me erase this on price elasticities. I hope you will take note on this because there are a lot of problems that are utilizing these particular concepts on elasticity. So, first is the price demand elasticity. Oh my God. No longer. Oh my God. Wala naman ko ink. Klaro na ba ninyo ni? I hope this is just clear to you, no? I will be buying ink, whiteboard marker ink. Wrote na akong whiteboard marker ink. So, price, demand, elasticity. Oh, Mr. Zamora, if you can answer this. No? What is price, demand, elasticity? Miss Kylie. Okay? PDE, it means the consumer's responsiveness or reaction to changes in the price of the product. It is obtained by getting the quotient of the percentage change in the quantity demanded in response to a given percentage change in price. So, price demand elasticity, abbreviated as PDE, is equal to percentage change, or you have to use the word delta, percentage change Okay? In quantity demanded over percentage change in the price of commodity X. So, percent change of quantity X, percent change of price X. How do we get the formula? Let us decipher. Let us try to simplify. That is equivalent to the change of quantity over Q1 over the change of price over P1. So that is now equal to change of quantity is Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 over P2 minus P1 over P1. So PDE is equal to this formula. Okay? Let me try to compare between the slope and elasticity. We have discussed on slope on the demand and the supply functions, and now elasticity. But let me just illustrate you. Why is it that it is not slope that is being used, but rather elasticity is being used? Let us check on this. Comparison between slope and elasticity. Slope is equal to the change of quantity over the change of price. That is the formula for slope. And for price elasticity, okay, is equal to the percentage change of quantity over the percentage change of price. Okay? So let us have an example. P1 is equal to 2 and P2 is equal to 3. Q1 is equal to 10 and Q2 is equal to 4. So if we are going to use it using the slope function, the slope, so simple, let us try to use that. So that's equal to Q2 minus Q1. So Q2 minus Q1. So for the slope, 4 minus 10, diba? Over 3 minus 2. Okay? Change of quantity over the change of price. So, negative 4 minus 10 is negative 6 over 1. So, negative 6. Okay? How about the other one? The price elasticity. For price elasticity, that is equal to 4 minus 10 over 10 divided by 3 minus 2 over 2. So that is equivalent to 4 minus 10 negative 6 over 10 over 1 over 2. That's equal to negative 6 divided by 10 is 0, negative 0.6 divided by 0.5. 0.6 divided by 0.5 is equal to negative 1.2. Okay, what's the interpretation? Why do you use elasticity instead of slope? Slope, 6 means that, negative 6 here, means that for every 1 unit increase in the price, the quantity demanded will increase by 6 units. So for example, commodities, car and pencil. A 1 peso increase in the price of car will mean a decrease in the demand for cars by 6 units. Example, ang price 1 million, tapos ni baba siya, ni saka siya og 1 million and 1 peso. mugamay na og 6 cars ang just a mere 1 peso using the interpretation on slope. So for pencil, a 1 peso increase in the price of pencil will mean a decrease in the demand for pencils by 6 units. So how do we analyze that? The responsiveness of the consumer on a peso increase for the two commodities cannot be compared because 6 units of cars and 6 units of pencils are entirely different. While price elasticity, negative 1.2 means that for every 1% increase in the price of commodity X, the quantity demanded will increase by 1.2%. And the consumer is said to be highly responsive or elastic to changes in the price of the commodity. So for example, in the illustration, car and pencil. Car, a 1% increase in the price, 1% of car, will mean a 6% decrease in the demand for it. A 1% increase in the price of pencil will mean a 6% decrease in the demand for it. So since the comparison is in terms of percent change and not the units of commodities, the comparison is understandable. Okay? So I want you to remember that there are values and types of elasticity. When elasticity is equal to 1, it is unitary elastic. That is when percent change of quantity is equal to percent change of price. When elasticity is greater than 1, it is called elastic. That is when percent change of Q is greater than percent change of P. If elasticity is less than 1, it is called inelastic. That is when percent change of Q is less than the percent change of P. If elasticity is equal to 0, it is perfectly inelastic. If elasticity is infinite, it is perfectly elastic. Okay? How about income elasticity? So for income elasticity, this measures the responsiveness of the consumers or reaction to changes in his income. It is obtained by getting the quotient of the percentage change in quantity demanded in response to a given percentage change in income. So same formula. Percentage change of quantity demanded over percentage change of income. Okay? So, dili na ko mo-explain anak kay mao-mao ra man na siya dinhi. The same point. Basta ang imo lang ana is income ang imong ilalom, no? Not price. Okay? How about cross elasticities of demand? Cross price elasticities rather. So cross price elasticities measures the consumer's responsiveness or reaction to changes in the price of related commodities. It is obtained by getting the quotient of the percentage change in quantity demanded in response to a given percentage change in the price of related commodities. So we have our CPA or the cross price elasticity that is equivalent to the percent change of quantity demanded over the percentage change of P, Y, price of related commodities. So, to simplify this, that is equal to delta Q over Q1 divided by delta P over PY1. So that's equal to Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 or PY2 minus PY1 over PY1. Okay? So let's say for example, PY1, God, hindi naman mo agi ay. Namiswerte yan, hindi na mo agi. PY1 is equal to 300. PY2 equals 200. Q1 is 10. And Q2 is 50. Okay? So, CPE is equal to, based on the formula, 50 minus 10 divided by 10 over PY2 is 200 minus 300 divided by PY1 of 300. That's equal to 40 over 10 divided by, this is 200, negative 100 over 300. So this is equivalent to 4 over negative 0.33. So if you will divide that one, that's equal to negative 12. So cross price elasticity is negative 12. This means that for every 1% increase in the price of related commodity, the quantity demanded will decrease by 12%. Also, the result indicates that the consumer is highly responsive or elastic to changes in the price of related commodity because this one is more than 1, so it is elastic. So they are highly responsive or elastic. More so, the negative sign of the cross-price elasticity signifies that the commodities being compared are complementary. If the sign is positive, then the commodities compared are called substitutes. Okay? So, let us proceed to the price-supply elasticity or supply elasticity. This is the degree of seller's responsiveness or reaction to changes in the factors affecting supply. So, the formula for supply elasticity is equal to the percentage change of PX over percent change of QX over percentage change of PX. So, actually, the same lang gyapon na sila og pamaagi sa pag-solve. Alright, so I will end my discussion here and I will be giving you more problems, an exam, okay, on this particular note. If there are questions, please feel free to PM over our group chat. So thank you very much and God bless everyone. I hope you have learned something new this afternoon.